See
spoke
what
about
the
in the
price is
past.
gonna be.
Yeah.
We, had a lot of excess. I forget what the actual amount was, but I'd like to continue around Riverside. And get rid of that hump,
Yeah.
that pavement there is
We
terrible.
spoke about that also. Yeah, sure did. Sure did.
You wanna add that too?
We gotta see how much money we have, nothing.
I think if you move to this side, you're gonna incur larger engineer cost on this side. And it's been engineered over here already. But I'm 100. It's gonna be bad coming down here and this be so nice. And you got
Yeah,
that.
and you gotta hit that
But we
roller
can,
coaster over there. But we gotta go with the money we have.
yes, sir, live within our means. Those are the only requests I have right there. Everything else is moving along out there.
So the hydrant, the sidewalk, the lamp, and I'm missing one.
Oh, the landscaping.
Landscaping.
The landscaping.
And veterans.
Oh, the veterans was the thing, Mark. That was, and that veteran sidewalk should have been replaced when we did the ramp, but we didn't use our money. So we decided to wait until, because that sidewalk still falls within the perimeters of the grant in the area.
Okay, council, what's your pleasure?
And to Mark's credit, go ahead and ask them to maybe check this out. Ask for the kitchen sink, and maybe we end up with a sidewalk.
Do it, yeah, I agree.
This is the sidewalk coming down.
You're talking sidewalk or street? You're talking street, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's talking street. He's no sidewalk, street. Even if we could just get it milled and get it asphalted for right now without taking the hump out would be a big thing.
Fix that big pothole right there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good suggestion, Mark. That's all I have on the change orders for Ridge Deal and engineers.
Need a motion.
Can I get a motion? Motion by Alicia,
Second.
second by Jan. Any discussion? Alicia, what's your motion?
Oh, well,
To send.
Yeah, I want to, yeah,
so change the engineer and for future change orders.
okay. All
Right.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion concerning continuation of the water rate adjustment at GCDC.
Where do you want me?
I don't know, where do you want to get so that you can get out quick?
Okay, I'm good.
I'll have to check the checkbook. That's what-
Good evening.
Good evening.
June Fisher, I'm the county manager. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening. My request this evening is to continue with the rate adjustment. It actually expired September 30th. But as you know, the sheriff's office occupies the GCDC facility for their admin offices. Currently, there are no inmates in the facility. And because the rate adjustment expired on the 30th, the county, we are statutorily obligated to provide a space for the sheriff's office. And we do fund the sheriff's budget. Therefore, we're asking if the council would consider extending the rate adjustment. We're diligently working to find a new home for the sheriff's office for the admin portion. We have went out, did an RFQ, requesting for consultants to evaluate not only the existing buildings that we have, but also to evaluate whether we should construct a building for the sheriff's office. And that is taking time. We are waiting right now on the attorney to do an agreement with the consultant. So right now we're kind of in a pattern where we are kind of, we're just waiting for the, for the agreement, waiting for the consultants. The county did get a grant to actually do the study, to evaluate facilities for the sheriff's office. So with all that being said, I would let the council consider, continuing the rate adjustment
And this be for potable water,
for potable water. Yes, sir. Thank
because
you.
we'll have to take the sewer up at the sewer
Yes, sir.
meeting later this month. I know you and I spoke last week. Did you get any more feedback on any potential purchasers for the facility?
I do know that they have entities looking at the facility. I don't know of any specific, but I do know that they have entities looking.
So this would be temporary.
It would be, I'm hoping that they don't get kicked out of the facility before we can get them a permanent home, but I do understand that people are looking, so we are trying very hard to expedite the process to evaluate and get them a new facility.
Ultimately, I think what'll happen, as well as if there is a purchaser, we'll have to renegotiate a new developer agreement with regards to whatever the prospective use is going to be, and instead of prison, something different, ERCs, and so on and so forth. So
Because the ERC are based on, the inmate population of 422 originally, and so there's no inmates now.
what did we reduce it to for last?
We went to 30
30,
ERCs.
yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir. Would you like to take that?
What's, is this fresh my memory? This is where we waited 6 months to get the,
Yes, sir.
so the bill was up around 15,000. Now it's coming in around 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm on the same topic here, right?
Mhm.
And we talked about this at the last meeting. I think the census of the council is we talked about we would give a break, but we weren't going to take from a 14, we weren't going to take that big of a break. Didn't we talk about we possibly split it or Larry was maybe that was just me when I in the office.
Yeah, we discussed it last
Okay,
meeting.
okay. Because it went from 14,000.
Well, the 270 ERCs was the last agreement between GCDC and the city. And that is 86.51 a month. Going to 30 ERCs brings it down to 961 a month. So it's about an $8,000 a month. But they're, like I said, they're not using that capacity that they're paying for because there isn't inmates there. But like I said, they are paying for, those 30 ERCs and also any consumption that they're using.
This is why we asked for the study.
I don't know how we can really charge them for what they're not using though. That's my thing with it. But I know at the same time, we're in agreement. And we made arrangements for them to be there, so.
Would you consider another 6-month lease, possibly give them an opportunity to lease the building out or sell it, and then we renegotiate the contract? Could we, instead of sitting here
Well,
saying we're going to do it
whatever
until
we
they
do,
sell it?
Yeah, I talked to
Yeah.
Ken Art and our bond counsel about this because obviously we have other considerations too. But as long as it's a temporary fixed time period and you can keep rolling that time period, we're good as far as the bond covenants on the water system. So
The thing about it is if you go 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, the base is going to be the base unless we change it. And I really don't see how we can change it.
well, we can't because of the bond covenants, but all we can do is give temporary relief since the county's the one picking up the slack and having to pay whatever the shortage
By relief, you mean giving them the 30 ERCs? That's
Yes.
the relief you're talking about?
temporarily.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to give them another 6 months.
At 30.
I'll make a motion to
ERCs.
give them another 6 months at 30 ERCs.
Including September.
Well,
It's
it would start over.
October 1st.
Because it went through 30 September.
Okay.
Second.
I'll second. Oh, you second it?
Motion by Jake, second by Does it matter which one? Mark,
Mm-mm.
any discussion?
Did that help?
Absolutely.
All in favor?
Much appreciated.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
then we'll make sure we put this on the agenda.
6
For-
months.
Sewer. Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Concerning, item number 9, discussion on new elementary school. Can I take this, Jake?
Go ahead.
I've asked Larry, after some thought, the new elementary school is coming. And after we got to thinking about it, there's some issues that we need cleared up for ourselves. I've asked Larry to write a letter. He's got it. All I have to do is sign it. And basically, I'm asking for the school to give us some information on what type of utilities they're going to need, what their plans to hook into, where their power, water, sewer is coming from, and how much they're going to have, because we may not even have the capacity for all this. I don't feel like our responsibility to reach out to them, but at the same time,
It's coming.
it's coming. So let's get on it and get ahead of it while we can. So that's where I'm at with that. If anybody has any questions.
Good move.
Can I get a letter?
Yeah, we got it. I just got to sign it. So
Does the school have engineers?
Mhm.
I'm
That's
assuming-
the building.
Let's hear the letter.
People
That's
and
why I
their
asked.
engineers sat down with ours.
yeah, it's to let their engineers contact our engineers, of course, but at the same time, maybe prod them along a little bit, because this needs to happen. Because if not, how long did the last phase take us to get funding for? Sewer funding. 3 or 4 years. They may have a $55 million school and not even be able to get water to it, which that's not our problem. They should have done it. But I would rather us be able to say, hey, we did everything we could.
We're gonna have the same issues for sewer as well.
Yes. Okay, so if y'all don't mind, I'll sign the.
Well, they want to hear the letter.
The city council understands that the school district has been identified as receiving funding for a new elementary school. Normally, the project developer, the school board in this case, would have their engineers contact the city with design and plans to meet with the city staff and engineers to determine impact and any needed upgrades or improvements. This has not happened at this point, so I'm reaching out to start this process. The new elementary school will have an impact on the city's utilities, water, sewer, electric, and also impacts to roads, stormwater, traffic, etc. Again, to begin planning for these impacts, the city is reaching out for the school district staff and city staff, along with the design and engineering professionals on both sides, to sit down and determine what the impact will be and how significant the impacts are to water, sewer, and electric versus the current capacity of these systems. Utility improvements / upgrades are costly and require extensive timelines to design and complete due to funding, permitting, material delays, etc. It is time for the plan to be well underway for the city to support the district, but we have to evaluate what you need.
Oh,
That's a good
good.
letter.
Good letter. Okay,
Larry.
So accept it in and make the next move.
Mhm.
exactly.
Well, that's the roads and everything. It's very disconcerting to me that a $50-some million project is going on in the city of Moore-Haven, and there's no transparency from Brian Grisseth all the way to the chairman of that board. And there has not been. They came in unannounced on the agenda on April 19th and told us that they would have some drawings for us by June 1st. It seems that we're more concerned about how they're going to turn their utilities on and flush their toilets and where it's going to go than they are. There's no public input on where it's going. The property that it's being built on, some of this council, we spent $20,000, and that property was identified of where the homes should go for the teachers. And this city of Moore-Haven, we've lost out once again on another piece of property that the opportunity for housing. All our stop and scrap money that we talked about, putting it in our streets, the majority of that is going around streets, around buildings that they're not going to use anymore, that their school buses have tore up. The utility pole that they beat on us about, that would have had to been moved regardless if they put the school where the old one was, but that was not an easy task for us to do. I don't know if anybody has seen a drawing of the school or what roads the school is going to go down, but it is going to be, there does need to be a traffic impact study on those roads, according to Mr. LaRue. There's no transparency whatsoever from any of that up there.
I don't know what you're talking about with public input, because she's had quite a few meetings. And that pole had to be
what meeting?
replaced because that pole was falling
meeting?
over.
What meeting?
There's been quite a few meetings. I know 2 that I've been to at the school about that school.
Yeah,
There's been meetings.
But that type of meeting, what I'm talking about a public input meeting where you don't have to go to a school board meeting and sit
No,
down
that
for
was
it.
the meetings in the library or that
Yeah,
little
together.
extra room. Yeah, we went to those.
We-
You were there too,
I
Jay.
did, and the 2 people that stood up that had public input that worked for the school suggested that the school not be built over there.
Yeah,
I'm just saying what we were all
But
there that
there's
we all listened
reasons,
to.
there's reasons, and in those meetings, she talked about those reasons of why she's putting it where she's putting it. It's the best for the school. By putting it where it's at, they're gonna get a new bus barn, which we desperately need. Our bus barn is as old as that elementary probably. So there's reasons that she's putting it there, and if you should maybe contact them and talk to her.
Can I say something here?
Hold on.
As the mayor, I'd like to say something now. I'm not up here tonight to argue the point where they put their school, where they put their bus barn. I don't care at this point. They've made a decision.
That's right.
That's
And
where
we
they
need to
want to put it. Now let's do our part and get started getting there.
That-
And if they can't, if for some reason we got a long ways to go before we are even close to getting where they need to be. I don't want to fight battles over where they put it or shouldn't have put it, because I think you could go around Glades County and you could ask 20 people, and 20 people that had 20 different places they want to put it. I'm not crazy about where it's going. I had my rathers. I'm sure you did. You did, every one of us. But they've made a decision. That's where it's going. Now let's do what we got to do. Whether we like what it is,
I'm
let's
with you.
go with it.
That's why I asked for it to
You
be put on the agenda.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
There's a lot of information that the community of
Yes.
this board does not know about.
You're correct.
The 3 worst buildings that the school owns is the elementary school, the cafeteria, and the district office. And the district office is in the worse shape than the other 2 buildings. And bus barn was built when the district office was redesigned.
But again, Jake, I don't want to fight that battle.
I don't either. I
I
think
just
we're
wanna
entitled to
say-
more information than what
And I
we're getting.
understand that. But at that point, they've made a decision.
And we're all in agreement that we desperately need a new school.
I agree with you. And we all,
Right.
and when we were proposed with this,
He's saying he wants to look ahead, so we know what we have to do.
that's
Exactly.
right.
That's all I
And
want
the
to
letter
do.
describes it.
Mhm.
But that's where I'm at.
Sign the letter and send it.
There you go.
I just wish.
And
we
there
would
again,
brought
no,
up
I
this
understand what
speed.
you're saying. No, I understand what
I
you're
get that
saying.
too.
That's all.
But,
I'm
and they
saying.
should have
I'm
come
100% behind that.
and made some better consider what they did.
Yes, sir.
There were some things there on, what's that, Avenue 7th Street or 8th Street that we could have done a whole lot different had we known.
Yes.
But, this ain't a problem that just started with the school. When I got on council, there was an issue that with the ball field that they could have done some things different. So this is a continuing issue, but it's happened. Now let's do what we
just
got
wanna
to
make sure
do.
we're in
Right.
doing what we need to do.
Right. Let's do it. We
Make
can
sure-
do.
We don't get in our
Right.
face.
Right. Thank you, Jan. So anything else on that?
I'm happy.
Good deal. All right. Item 10, discuss and or approve procedures for the selection of a seat being vacated by Councilman Gunn.
So I had asked to follow up and have this on the agenda. If you recall, I had broached the subject at the last meeting. Regardless of what procedure you want to use, there's got to be some paper trail to who is either going to be nominated or who would like to be nominated or who's interested in the position. As I understood some of the discussion from the last meeting, persons may have approached individual council members who are interested in the vacancy, which is fine. But I had went back to look at our charter and the statutes regarding municipal candidates. So pursuant to section 99.093, municipal candidate election assessment, each person seeking to qualify for nomination or election has to pay a fee of 1% of the annual salary of the office sought. So regardless of the process, whether you're going to open it up to at large within the city qualified electors to apply or some other different process, in a perfect world, I'd want to see a paper trail, some sort of letter of intent from a person. And if they're seeking the nomination, they're required by law to post 1% of the annual salary. I'm not sure what that amount is because I don't know what your annual salary is, but obviously we could do that calculation. Well, when I started doing the research, I came across it. So that's, and I talked to Leatrice as well. She agrees. Well, obviously she's not involved in this process because we're not doing a special election. I just wanted you to be aware of those requirements.
Where's that from again? What?
Florida statutes,
So we're not gonna
99.09.
go by our charter?
Well, our charter speaks to some of it, but the statutes give you the specifics as to how this is supposed to work. The charter's basically upon the vacancy for various potential reasons, then the city council selects
Right.
at that point in time. That's all the charter really speaks to.
That's-
And you go to state statute and it supplements it, which it shouldn't be, what's the salary?
$6,000 a year.
Okay, so there you go, $60, what is it?
$6.
So, yeah, it's really, it's a trivial amount, but I'm just reporting to you what I found. So the other question, I think, from the last meeting, if I'm wrong, Jan, you were wanting to have participation in the selection process. I don't think that could happen on charter because technically this process doesn't begin until your seat is vacant. And as
Then how do you break a tie? Because it's a 5-person board.
you don't necessarily break a tie. If it's 2-2, then it fails for lack of majority, and you go on to the next, and the next.
If you don't do it within 30 days, then it goes to the governor's office.
Right.
And when does the 30-day start? The first?
November 1st. Yeah. So my thought process was, again, this is your guys' decision on the politics side. Since we know we have the luxury of a couple weeks or so lead time, if you were going to open up to any qualified elector, there should be a deadline to it. And whoever wants to be considered nomination, post their money, just a letter of intent. Doesn't have to be, a resume, just, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a city elector, and I'm interested in filling the vacancy of Councilwoman Gunn's position, period. So other than that, that's all I have to say.
Anything to add, Mr. Tibbs?
No.
So this goes on the agenda for the next meeting?
Well, it could be now, if you guys want to decide now, because then if you wait till the next meeting, we're going to be in November. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve.
So what are you what are you suggesting?
Regardless of the process, if anybody's interested in being nominated, they need to give us a letter of intent and post the 1%.
And where do they put the letter of intent? They bring it to the
Just
city
to
hall?
the city clerk, that's all.
Okay, so
So we
then
need-
at the very first, at the November meeting, then we would look at the letters of intent.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna be on a 30-day
Time crunch.
time period and you have the holiday. I know our meeting, second meeting in November is the week of Thanksgiving, so that shouldn't, but theoretically you'd want to be able at that November 21st meeting, I think it is, or, no, November, Clay.
No, I'm counting something else. Yeah.
November 21st meeting,
Jeez.
make the selection. Because then
We have a meeting, will be the
On the
first,
7th.
the 7th,
okay, the seventh.
Seventh and
I
the
was
20th.
looking on a Wednesday, sorry, I'm blind.
trust me, I got in trouble.
21st.
So I know it's the 21st.
So I guess what I'm saying is prepare a notice to say that,
I would just,
and post the notice here and maybe supervisor elections kind of thing of the position is open to
any qualified city elector, and you have to post whatever the 1%
But
is.
if anyone wants to make a nomination tonight, can you do that?
I still think the way the statute reads is anybody seeking to qualify has to do that. So, well, you nominate,
Before we nominate.
right, you have to have a willing, willing.
So we're not nominating anybody,
No, not right now, until November.
but we don't even nominate them. We can't nominate them until they come and put their 1% up. And then at that point, they've thrown their name in there. So it's not a
Correct.
nomination from this board.
All I'm saying is, what process do you want to use? This
Oh,
is
I
what
know.
the statute requires.
So now, and I think Jan kind of asked this question. We've got 5 candidates. The 4 of us sit there and we review the 4 candidates. Well, if there's somebody I really want to win, you've got to get 3 of us to
You have
vote.
to have a
for you.
majority, yeah.
So what happens if every one of us, we just two all 5 votes?
You guys are gonna have to find some compromise.
And that's when the governor would step in.
Or the governor steps in if you can't do it in 30 days.
And you have 1 week after the 21st.
Right, but you do have the CAPFA meeting on that Monday following Thanksgiving. That's kind of like a drop dead date. I'm just putting this in your heads that you gotta have a process.
So the process is, you're saying right, the process is we could try and do it in-house. And if we don't have any nominations or in-house, then we post it. And if somebody comes up and puts.
No, he's saying the statute says they have to put a
Yeah.
letter of intent in.
Right.
So we have to put in just like a job application, we have to post
Yeah.
No recommendation.
that we have a,
That had
an
been
opening.
argument previously.
Yes.
They would put in, as I understand it,
I got
we
it.
will publish it. If there's somebody that wants to, that's interested, they'll put up the 1%, which is $6 and some change. Then the 4 of us will get it at that meeting, and then we'll,
Put it on the agenda and
right,
see what we have, and
right.
you can figure out, do you wanna, if, there's 50 people,
Is it
do you want a short
No,
list,
that'd
and
be
then,
10%.
you can call special meetings in between.
Yeah.
Once you pass that date. And that's
I'm
pretty
not good
tight.
at percentages. Well, it is 60.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
But I can't
60.
hardly see that.
That's
Let me
right.
start
All
off
right.
with this, but,
Well, y'all could call a special meeting after the 1st and get it, and then put it on the meeting for the 7th. That way, if y'all don't agree, then y'all can bring it back on the 21st. Have some time to think about it. That way y'all can look at the letter of intent.
See if somebody turns in again.
Just have the letter of intents in by the 1st. That way y'all can get them on the 1st.
so for right now, what we'll do is we'll just do FYI, the
Better
position
post it and do it till
will be available, starting November 1st. Any person who's a qualified elector is welcome to apply. It requires a $60 fee. And actually, the fee goes to Elitris, and then I think it goes to a state fund. So we don't get to keep the $60.
But- I mean, well, that'd be the same thing when we run. We have to put up X amount of dollars.
That's right.
Or they could just turn it in by the 1st and they can just give y'all all copies of it. Then y'all could go over it and put it on a meeting for the.
Yeah, I would just put a deadline on it. This way you're keeping
have them in by the end of the month. and
by
then-
October 31st at 4 PM, whatever, you
And
pick
then you
it.
have to put it on the first meeting, that way you'll have the second meeting to follow up if you don't make a decision.
Yeah, hey, we got 3, we got 30, whatever, how we want to do this, and then you go from there.
Post it. Post it.
We gotta have a motion, right, Steve?
Sure, it would be helpful.
Motion for Mr. Tibbs to post the qualification rules to fill Councilman Taylor's position and to notify the supervisor of elections.
By
Well,
October 31st.
yeah, with the deadline of October 31st at 4 PM. Is that good, Larry?
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Jan.
No.
No, I'm sorry, motion, I'm thinking here. Motion by Jake, second by Alicia. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Uh,
Report of officers.
give me just a second, Jan.
You lost, buddy.
I'm thinking. Report of officers, Larry.
We have a customer that was in the hospital and had a water leak. And like I said, by the time it was discovered, he came in, this individual is at 404 10th. By the time he came in, the bill was $1,919.44. Once we adjusted it down for the sewer, took the sewer off, that brought the bill down to $1,084.54. Now the individual, is aware that it's, it happened on his side and is not disputing the bill, but would like a payment arrangement to handle that balance over a period of time. The individual's typically been current, but there have been any kind of delinquent issues. He couldn't be here tonight because he works night shift, so he was in today and asked if I would present this to the council to get approval to do a payment plan for him like we have the last couple of individuals.
I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Your motion.
Motion to make a payment plan.
Second.
404 10th Street.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Larry. Keep going.
So, I don't think anything at this point in time. I think Brad's got some stuff that he's gonna cover. Let's see if it has anything for me.
Anybody got anything for Larry? B, city attorney.
The city's been served with an appeal from the tenant on the Ogletree property, Mr. Baez. I'm in the process of reviewing it, going to review the record. The process is basically appealing the city application for the small scale comp plan change and the rezoning. Technically, it doesn't affect the use of the property because that property is grandfathered in as long as it's being used lawfully. Whether or not it's being used lawfully or not on the code enforcement issue, which we're working on as well, is another story. I noticed in the record he's trying to mix past code enforcement and that he's complied allegedly and so on and so forth for part of the appeal process, but one has nothing to do with the other, but that's my job, is to ferret that out. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It's also my understanding that perhaps the property owner, Ms. Ogletree, is not in favor of what's happening. Whether or not that's true or not true, I don't have any independent information at this point in time, but obviously one of the issues that we're looking at is whether or not the tenant even has
I was
standing.
just gonna ask you that when you started that.
to
Did you have
change-
right?
I've already started some research on that. It's potentially that he does as a tenant, but practically I would say no, because it doesn't affect the lawful use of the property as a legal non-conforming use. But using it as a junkyard is not a legal use of the property, and that's why there's code enforcement proceedings independently going on at the same time. I am trying to get a hearing date out of the judge's office, hopefully in November, for Colleen and I to go to court on this specific property. I don't have a date yet, but then we'll go from there. I'll keep you updated. On the other code enforcement issue with regards to Adams, obviously they were injured. I canceled the hearing. I don't know what the state of their injuries or healing. I'm not trying to be insensitive to them. And speaking with Colleen, she says that definitive improvements were made on the property to clean it up in certain regards. I'll probably try to get a control date maybe in December, January. I'm trying to be sensitive to their situation, but that's still dangling out there. So we need to bring it back before the judge, because the judge is the one who wanted the status conference. That's all I have.
Anybody got anything for Steve? Jake?
No, sir.
Alicia? Mark? Jan? I'm good. Thanks, Steve. Craig A. Smith is not in attendance. CAS is not in attendance. F. Brad Simmons.
We've already kind of touched on what Reed's was doing here on the road. As you know, they've already ripped up the roads and some of the sidewalks. And they're making progress, but that's not only been a week they've been working here. So we've already started to go underground and started their sewer main, fourth main, going down H, and then trying to go down I and go into the rear. They started laying their pipes and putting them together. We're going to do some water line marking tomorrow, because every intersection they're going under, we got a main there. But they should be deep enough. Some of these pipes are old. You get shaking that ground a little bit, and then know what's going to happen. So we're trying to go exercise some valves and just make sure
They turn.
we don't have a major problem. We had a lightning strike a month or so ago at the water plant, wastewater plant, and the water tower. So we had some repairs. What needed to be repaired has been, and replaced has been replaced. So we're back to normal on that kind of stuff there. We're catching up on this debris and household stuff around town. We were out of the grapple truck for seemed like a month. So we sent guys out to pick up stuff for the old fashioned way, and we really need to look at replacing some of this equipment. It's when it goes down close to one I can rinse in Georgia, be a week before I can even put my hands on it. So, and you're looking at $8,500 a month with a minimum of 2 months just to rent one. So we need to, don't need to put your head together, try to help us out to get some better equipment than what we've got going on there. This stuff's old, and BJ can only do what he can. Sometimes it's just time to replace some stuff.
Maybe I should put that truck on Capster and try to buy it, because we've been fighting with this truck for months now.
And it's running right now. It started doing that on its own. The weather really fixed it.
It's because it's off nicely.
How much would a new one cost, Brad?
You're looking at anywhere from $209,000 to $230,000, depending on what you get. And what we have right now is a Freightliner, and I suggest don't even look at those.
Yeah.
How much do we have in repair, the last 4 repair bills for that grapple truck?
I would say you're in the upper teens, probably.
But we're going to work on some of the bills for they billed us a couple times, and they went back for the same kind of thing. I don't think we settled on a final number, but what they want is probably, I don't know, 20-some thousand at least.
And they ain't fixed it?
No.
They haven't fixed it, so we're not, like I said, we're not going to pay everything they build.
Oh, I don't hear that number.
No. Now, what that 20,000 is just the repair bill. That's not your mechanic and Brad driving over there taking.
No, I understand that, but I just,
So I said, we're not gonna-
how can you bill me for something you ain't fixed?
The truck's 16 years old. The truck was, stay with me, Mark, because you were on council. The truck's 16 years old. Stormwater treatment money from Tallahassee paid for it.
There was some of the grant.
We've never purchased on our own, we've never purchased a grapple truck, and it's one of our most prized pieces of equipment.
Yeah, there's a couple piles laying around town that need to be picked up.
There's a state contract on
Huh?
that. There's a state contract for that.
Yeah, we can find a contract.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Decker?
I think we need to spend the money. and get a
Yeah, I
new
think
truck.
it do too. I think it needs to go on capital.
Yeah.
The money's there.
Might as
That's
well
what
use
it's
it.
for.
We'll let Larry move forward with some hard numbers for us. And, we'll go we gotta have a special meeting because this truck is limping around town right now. Jerry could not talk to it right tomorrow and it might not run.
And
So-
the city's
gotta
not
push.
looking good with all that
Right.
trash.
So what we're saying, do we need a motion to go to,
Well, I think my thought process, let Larry get the figures, get the numbers. And if we
Okay.
gotta run up here
Let's do
for a
that.
15-minute special CAPFA meeting to listen to him. You said that, you're in Georgia about renting one. And I know you have talked to him. So like if we had a check for you tomorrow, how long is it until we get a truck? Are you driving to Fort Myers and get it, or are we ordering it?
One of both people I talked to are different Georgia.
To buy
even
one?
to buy one?
Oh. I
No,
thought
to
you
buy,
No,
said-
to buy
it.
But to buy one,
6 months.
you look at a month.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, you think that truck will limp that long? My gosh. that's a
Maybe
long
less
time.
than a month. It's just depending on what we want.
But not a Freightliner.
Not afraid. I'll wait another year.
Yeah, let's like to do that, and then we'll hold on to this other truck. We might be able to fix it and limp it around town ourselves.
And use it as a backup.
Yeah,
I mean,
it may clear up. If nothing else, yeah.
get
There,
some right, be
that's
good.
a pretty strong deal there.
Yeah.
Let's get some hard numbers and get us a special meeting to
Yeah.
move forward.
We can do
All right. Anything else, Brad? I didn't mean to interrupt you right there.
That's it. That's all.
Sorry, Larry.
Has anybody got anything for Brad?
Well, the doctors, except for the cats, they can use the docks.
Did you get caps?
That is over, they're ordered.
They're here.
Are they here?
They're just out here.
Yeah.
Brad, how are we coming with spraying these canals?
The county's ready. I just gotta get the chemical. And that's pretty much it. I said they can send them at any time.
Okay. And we couldn't do it with that little gator that we've got?
Yeah, you can't reach some of that stuff on the other side of the canal and the houses like over here on the, when you're in the garden. How far can you spray it? That truck they have, it'll cover.
Okay.
And let's look, if Robert can't get behind everything with that county truck, then we need to follow up with
Yeah,
our
we'll
little
do it.
stuff and get it.
Little stuff.
The ball fields, are we up? No problems with them? They're good?
Very good.
No complaints? All right, I got a question. Well, okay, I'll come back to that. The bathrooms, where are we at with the bathrooms right
Got a
here?
quote, the quote is a little high from what, on the flooring and all that stuff.
Is it still locked?
I still got a lot. There's electrical wires hanging out in there. I don't want nobody in there right now.
So the bathrooms won't be open this weekend?
No.
Just the men's room here, yes. Yes.
The men's room
The
was,
men's room has the
was
wire hanging out.
it was the wire hanging out of it.
I
Yeah,
think,
that's what I'm talking about. That's
yeah,
what I'm
so it's gonna be locked. That was gonna be locked, yes.
Okay,
He's saying that's the only thing that's locked.
okay.
So there's no restrooms for the event this weekend is what I'm saying?
The women's is open.
The women's, okay, well, that's
And I
fine.
can probably
That's fine,
carry that
that's
wire.
fine. As long as the women's restroom's open, that's good. I'm
Yes,
happy
sir.
with that. I wish they both were open, but
Okay,
can I say something about the bathroom?
go ahead, Jake.
The bathrooms, I know when they were built, I mean, it was tile floor and all this in there. I don't think we should, and maybe, are you going out for quotes to fix it back the way it was with tile floor and all that?
Grind it down and do
Right.
an epoxy
That's-
that's rated for the
Non-skid.
standard, yeah.
And the main thing is the plumbing, right? The valves and what have
That was
you.
a very expensive quote that we got on that.
We have the valves, we just have to have them installed, and like I said, the quote
We're gonna
that we
look at maybe doing that in-house.
did receive is extremely high, so.
Do you think that's something we might could do before the weekend gets going, is to get the other bathroom
I'll
going?
have to dig into one of them and look and see what all it
Okay,
entails.
okay. All right.
Brad, was that just,
I'm not a plumber.
no, but was there a lot of that vandalism or just,
Yeah. It's just people going in and tearing stuff up.
and that's pitiful.
Then you fix it, then tear it right back up.
And our cameras didn't catch anybody? Cause don't we have camera around?
Didn't we catch some one time,
They were caught just by eyesight. Somebody seen them.
okay.
We have cameras pointing toward the restrooms, we do not have cameras inside the restaurant.
No, I know, but I didn't point, it didn't catch anybody going in there?
We didn't catch anybody. Because the one that was doing it, I think they had gotten the combination to the other restroom and gotten in that way. And then, so you didn't see him coming or leaving, so. Once they were in there.
That's how they entered and exit.
Yeah. So we're more careful with the combination now than.
Yeah, but with the road construction, they're hard to get to now,
uh,
because they were down there on that end of our
Doc,
They've done this road, and then they're halfway, they're almost down to City Hall now.
Why can't we put a combination lock on that inner door between the two so that if they do get in that back door, they can't get into the other?
That's a good point.
Because of the handicap access.
Yeah, I talked to Ashley, I think I don't see if she ordered them or not, but we will order those.
Okay. Okay, I'm good.
For Brad.
With Brad, yeah. Okay. Y'all gotta give me a minute to get the agenda back, pulled back up. Thank you, Jen. Approval of the bills in the amount of $192, $192,532.59.
You need your new glasses.
Yeah, what's the audit, 32,000 for the audit?
That's our audit. That's just a portion of the audit.
We pay them that every year, cause I don't remember that being
It's-
that much last year.
They went up.
It had gone up some because there are new standards now that they have to, that we also have to prepare and they also have to audit them. So there was two new standards in last year's in audit that they have to.
And now, do we owe them more money? Is that just a payment or is that pay them?
I
That's
think
just a payment.
It's just a payment, yes.
Holy mackerel.
Yes.
Sure you wanna be a nurse?
I know, maybe I need to be an auditor.
Okay.
And then in there, you notice there's some payments for the project here. There's a couple different progress payments, one for out here, $44,000 one.
Yeah, what is that paying?
It's a partial payment on Ridgedale.
Okay, it says Craig A. Smith, so I didn't know what we were.
Oh, Craig Smith is the engineering, and then the downtown project is partial payment for work done today.
Okay.
Are we doing discussion on the bills?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what is, Clay County Board of County Commissioner for Services at $32.50? I had never seen that one bill it's either says to the fire department or animal control. What's Clay County Board of County Commissioners?
It's either the fire department or the animal control. They she's like with some of my bills for CCPO, it's quarterly. So whatever it breaks down to
It wasn't
quarterly.
anything that they came into town and did for us.
No, I want to say it'd be the one that's like, whichever one's 15,000. That's the 3750. I'm not sure which one's which. Yeah, so then that's the fire department one.
Motion to approve the bills.
Motion by Jake,
Second.
second by Jan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, citizens, general concerns, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Rosemary Flory. I'm Executive Director of the Glades County Economic Development Council. I'm here representing a group of organizations, the Florida Department of Health, American Heart Association, Riley Fit, the EDC, the TDC, and the Juneteenth Celebration Committee. What we would like to do is hold a farmer's market in the Chalanika Park on December 2nd from 9 to 4 p.m. The reason we're doing this is because Glades County has been identified as a food desert due to the lack of major supermarkets and food options. The health equity plan signed into mandate by the governor in 2020 is intended to address areas of high need in Glades County in order to ensure health for all Floridians. One area identified as high need is food resources. The community farmers market, which we're calling Marketito Little Markets, is an event to address food insecurity. We will be inviting grocery stores to set up shop and also local small farmers to sell their produce in order to make fresh, healthy food available locally to Glades residents. This is no cost to the vendors. It's a non-profit event. It's intended to supply the community with access to produce and other non-perishable items. The hope is that the community will take over the event so that residents will have a weekly or monthly farmers market in town and purchase produce or other food items. And the request is, since the event is nonprofit and we don't have a budget to spend, we are hoping the city of Moorhaven will waive the $500 Chalanika Park rental fee and security deposit. And our group will make sure that any leftover trash is up and deposited in the trash receptacle.
Motion to waive the fee.
Second.
Motion by Jake, second by Alicia. Any discussion?
You,
I do have some discussion. Is there a reason we're doing it? Y'all would like to do it down at the Chalanika grounds?
Well, our first choice was City Hall, but since the streets are being torn up, we thought Chalanika was a better option. Since it's in December, we're assuming that the construction will be pretty far down Riverside.
you just have to call Ashley or Melissa to get it on the calendar to make sure that we don't rent the facility out.
Okay.
Which it'll be in the afternoon if we rent it out. It's kind of cold then, so I don't know if we can see it as.
I mean, any other discussion?
You didn't say monthly or weekly? You haven't
Well-
made your mind up yet?
I'm hoping, it's up to the community, so we're hoping that if people are interested, they'll come out weekly, if not monthly. I mean, whatever the community has the resources to do. I know, I've gone to farmers markets on the coast, they're weekly, but those are larger areas of population.
You realize there's other people gonna do it here?
We know, and we reached out to them. We don't want to compete with them. This is just a farmer's market. We're just hoping, because, we see the people selling fruit on the side of the road. So we kind of just want to have a space where they can come and sell their goods. We're not charging
Yeah,
them or
the
trying to
one
make
that's gonna
money.
be here is
It's
like.
gonna be all vendors.
boutique and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be vendors, and we're doing it at
Just
different
strictly
days.
Farmers.
Yeah, this is farmers, and we're going to be reaching out to the local grocery stores to see if they'll set up pop-up shops so people can buy, like canned foods, not just produce. But we're asking them to, come and donate their time and efforts, the grocery stores.
Thank
But
you.
we're reaching out we want it to be local, yeah. And we're doing it a different day than the other groups, so we're not competing against each other.
December 3rd, correct?
Second.
December 2nd.
Yeah,
She'll need
Saturday.
you'll admit the Chalanika request.
Yeah, just make sure you call in the morning to make sure it's not already booked
Okay.
to
We have a
available.
motion
Because
on
we
the
have
floor.
I know we have
Alicia
some
seconded.
weddings and
Yeah,
birthdays.
and it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rosemary.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay. Mayor and council to give reports. Jake?
I wanted to touch on those ditches too, Brad. They all need to be weed eated and sprayed from beginning to end, you know. Every time Charlie Beck sees me, he beats me up over that ditch in front of his house. He said he was going to attempt to mow it and send us a bill. Told him he'd lose his lawnmower. We'll get to it. Code enforcement. I appreciate the list that we have here. I appreciate it. I would like to know if it's possible, Colleen, if you would put the people's name on it for me. You know, like you've got 185 Palm Avenue. I'd like to know who lives at
The
185.
Joneses, or, so,
Yeah,
them Jones or whatever.
I don't really know who's living there all the time. If it's a door hanger, it could be the owner of the property that I look up on the property appraisers,
that's
Site.
fine.
but I don't know who always lives there.
Okay. Yeah, that just however it lists on the property appraiser site would be fine. Go ahead, Alicia.
Good.
Come back to me.
All right, Alicia,
I don't have anything.
Mark?
Just the alley between Avenue M and N east of Fifth Street. We get on that with some mowers or something. The guys skipped it.
Let's get it this week.
I think so. Yeah, they did the rest of them. I got a call on it, Brad, or I wouldn't say it.
Well, they went in there and cut a bunch of stuff. I'm wondering if that's where they built it.
Yeah, it's right up to culvert on Fifth Street. It's knee high.
You said M and N, huh?
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's all, Clay.
Okay, Jan?
Nothing.
Nothing? Jake?
I had something on code enforcement.
Well, go ahead. I mean,
I lost my train of thought.
before I bring up mine, Steve, can you look at the ones I've got marked there? Is it okay to discuss them?
Yeah, I mean, you could discuss anyone. The process that goes through the court, so it doesn't come before the board.
Okay, I just make sure before I bring them up. I mean,
I know now.
huh?
I know now.
Yeah.
Miss Colleen, on here, on this list, you've got Mr. Baez, where you asked him to remove a power cord and water. Was he stealing power?
He's not stealing it, he's using it from a next door neighbor, 2 doors down.
Yeah.
He's running extension cords and water hoses. in
Oh,
there.
Lord. This man is a nightmare. My goodness.
Did they know? Did the neighbor know he was using it?
He seems to cause it, but
He knew.
So is there any legal repercussions we have to that?
Well, but you've noticed them.
the guy he was hooked to knew about it. He was letting.
He was okay with it.
But the electric cord.
Because he doesn't have power at his place?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But it was running across somebody else's
Yeah.
property.
We talked about, Mark, you know how you talked about the people come into town and use our dumpsters?
There it is right
You
there.
know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay, all that's on that piece of property, when you go out of town on the left-hand side on 27, back in the day, there was a big cheeky hut there that they built for when they were working on the court. When you pull in that driveway, it's nothing but semis and ice cream containers on this side. This side, great big dirt field. Now, I don't know if they snuck in there and buried all that stuff at night or if they hauled it all from the county into the city of Moore Haven, but all that stuff that's over there came from that property in the county. But what's the difference of bringing your branches or your garbage and putting it in my dumpsters as to bringing in an entire junkyard and placing it within the city limits of Moore Haven? That's the picture they're not getting.
And it's not going anywhere. It's gonna stay back there. Who wants it?
Now, he either lost his lease out there and had to get off of it, but if you read in his documentation there about he's been up here looking forever for a place to lease to start a business, he can't tell you if he's an inboard or outboard marine mechanic.
But hey, he may be working on jet skis too.
I have nothing further.
My question is, when we're starting to see people on here 4 or 5 times on one report, and I know in the past I've been told, well, that's kind of a different citation, This is starting to get old, and it's every time we get a report, it's the same guy 3, 4, 5 times. Is there anything we can do other than what she's done?
Well,
At some point, we got to say, come on, man. You're not getting
Well, when
the
it
message.
becomes problematic, then Colleen lets me know, and then we go to court. So that's why I'm setting up a court date for that junkyard. Otherwise, I don't step on what she does on a day to day. I have no idea what she's doing on a day to day. Obviously, if she's got an issue or a problem, either Mr. Tibbs calls me, Colleen calls me, and we deal with it. So,
Well, I do notice that
I
he's.
don't see these reports because I only get involved when I need to.
I mean, I do see that he's resolved a lot of them, but after it says right here 2 letters.
Well, there is a part,
You know,
in code enforcement in terms of repeat offenders and things like that. So we'll handle it when we go to court.
Okay. Brad, one more thing, the water part. Did we ever get it fixed?
No, he has not never returned my phone call. We'll have to get somebody that's gonna do it. Well, I left him text messages and numerous phone calls. He
Is
had a
it-
date set to show up and do it, and he never showed up.
Okay, then I assume we've cut it off then, correct?
On and off, it's going
I can
on.
turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Okay. But somebody has to physically come
He's
up
having
here
to
and do
stop
it.
what he's doing, come up here and turn it on.
And on the weekends when the guys come up here and turn it on, when people call.
It's November. Would anybody mind if we just cut it off? No, this is,
Are you paying the guys an hour overtime to come and turn it on the weekends?
Yeah.
On call guys.
Comes and turns it.
Yeah.
I just, at this point, it's November. It's fixing to get wet anyway, cold anyway.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see people.
I rather, it'll slow down, but I don't want to completely turn it off,
Okay.
my personal opinion.
but I don't want to keep paying overtime for somebody to
Yeah,
come turn it on
and
either. So when
I don't
can
wanna-
we
I don't
try to
wanna
find
keep
somebody
just-
to fix it?
Just wasting water too, you
I
know?
had to keep him committed money to come do it, and they ain't never answered the phone.
Can you get on trying to find somebody else, please? Thank you.
And I understand it. Probably about Thursday when I start planting cane, I'll probably be at about 5 o'clock myself, but at the same time, that's a lot of water we're wasting.
Months.
Overtime, we're gonna pay for something anyway, so
We might as well just
Okay,
replace the whole
and-
system.
that's all I've got. So. No, I don't. I'm sorry. I do have something else. These stop signs right here on 3rd Street on J and K. There's 4-way stops. First right here. I'm sorry. I wrote down 3rd. Do we have to have a 4-way stop there? Is there any way on 1st Street, north and south, that those stop signs can open up?
Take them out.
That was in place of the roundabout.
Yes.
Yeah.
They put it
No,
on
I
that.
don't know why we need a second one, but that
Yeah.
one was in place of the
I
roundabout.
mean, it doesn't, to me, doesn't make sense. We got to stop.
Well, they don't stop anyways.
If that was
Well,
alternative.
But at least you have a sign.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I agree. I think we need to sign there, but.
And also back here at the old bridge where we got that big, why, if you don't stop, you're gonna run right off in the river. Why do you need a stop sign there?
Because that's why.
Because.
So when
if they
somebody
don't-
does that, when somebody does that and they didn't stop at our sign, we don't get
You
sued.
didn't have a sign there, City of Moravian.
That was all right, but yeah.
And then it causes Mr.
I
Tips
say-
lots of consternation because he's got to get a hold of PRM.
I say leave one set and take the other set down on this 1st Street.
Yeah,
Or you can leave the ones up on J and K.
This one's gonna be one, that's what I was saying, you're gonna have to have something there because
Yeah.
this one's turning into one way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Take the ones out on First Street.
yeah, but
The double. You gotta go one block and stop again.
Or just run.
There's a cop sitting back there.
He ain't paying attention. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you don't even normally count them in the head count, which is in the audience.
No. All right, I'm good then. Discuss financial statements if needed.
Thank you.
Item
You're
16, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Jan, mo- second by Alicia. Any discussion?
Pick a name.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, Madam Mazzelli, goodbye. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Bye, Steve.
Bye-bye, goodbye.
Goodbye, Steve.
Yeah.